You're 42 years old. You just got a promotion. Your salary jumped from $75,000 to $95,000 a year. You feel like you finally made it. Within 6 months, you upgrade your car lease. You move to a nicer apartment. You start eating out 4 times a week instead of 2. Life is good. Then you check your retirement account at 50. You've got $127,000 saved. Your coworker who makes $20,000 less than you, he's sitting on $680,000, same age, lower salary, 7 years to retirement. He's on track. You're facing a nightmare. You didn't fail because you earned too little. You failed because of one number you never paid attention to. This isn't about income. This is about the invisible percentage that separates retirement at 65 from working until you physically can't anymore. My name is James, and I spend way too much time thinking about why people who earn 6 figures retire broke while others making $50,000 retire millionaires. If you've ever wondered why your savings never seem to match your income, if you've watched friends earn less but somehow build more wealth, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because today I'm going to show you the exact savings rate you need at your age to retire comfortably. We're talking about a specific percentage that determines whether you're working at 75 or relaxing on a beach at 62. And most people get this catastrophically wrong. To understand why savings rate matters infinitely more than income, we need to look at research that changed everything we know about retirement. Meet Wade Pfau, a professor of retirement income at the American College of Financial Services. In 2012, he published findings that shocked the financial planning industry. It tracked 10,000 retirement accounts over 30 years and discovered something nobody expected. People who saved 5% of their income their entire working lives had a 92% chance of running out of money before they died, even if they invested perfectly, even if they got lucky with market returns. Meanwhile, people who saved 15% of their income had only an 18% chance of running out. Same market, same time period. The only difference? That 10% gap in savings rate. This phenomenon is called the savings rate paradox. Here's how it works psychologically. When you earn $100,000 and save 5%, you save $5,000. When you earn $60,000 and save 15%, you save $9,000. The person making less saves more. But here's the kicker. The high earner thinks they're doing fine because they see that $100,000 salary. The lower earner knows they need to be disciplined because they see that $60,000 reality. According to the Federal Reserve's 2023 Survey of Consumer Finances, the median American in their 40s saves just 6.2% of their income. The recommended rate? Between 15 and 20%. That gap between 6% and 15% doesn't just mean less money. It means the difference between retiring at 65 or working until 78. Fidelity Investments analyzed 30 million retirement accounts and found that your savings rate is 4.3 times more predictive of retirement success than your investment returns. You could pick the worst investments in the world and save 20% of your income, and you'd still beat someone saving 5% who picked the best investments. Here's why this happens. When you save 5%, you need your money to work impossibly hard. You need 40 years of perfect returns just to accumulate enough to survive 20 years in retirement. When you save 20%, your money has breathing room. It can handle bad markets. It can grow steadily. You're not betting everything on investment luck. Let me show you exactly how this plays out in real life with people your age. Let's say you're 32 years old, making $68,000 a year. You're saving 5% because that's what your company matches in your 401k. That's $3,400 per year. You think you're being responsible. You're getting free money from your employer. You're doing what everyone says to do. But then your rent increases by $200 a month. That's $2,400 a year. Your car insurance jumps $80 a month after a minor accident, another $960 annually. Your student loan payment was paused during COVID, but now it's back at $347 a month. There's $40,000 to $664 a year. You're not living lavishly, you're just existing. And your savings rate stays stuck at 5% while your expenses consume everything else. By 55, you've saved $198,000. Sounds decent, right? except inflation cut its value by 40% over those 23 years. Your actual purchasing power? About $118,000 in today's dollars. If you live to 85, that's $3,933 per year to supplement Social Security. That's $327 a month. You can't even cover your utilities with that. Now let's say you're 42 and making $82,000. You've been saving 7% for the last decade. That's $5,740 per year. Better than 5%, but here's what happens. You get a raise to $95,000. Instead of increasing your savings rate, you increase your lifestyle. You lease a $47,000 BMW instead of buying a $22,000 Honda Civic. That's $600 a month instead of $350 if you'd finance the Honda. Over 7 years, that's an extra $21,000 gone. You move from a $1,600 apartment to a $2,200 house rental because you can finally afford it. Another $7,200 per year evaporated. Your savings rate actually drops to 6.1% because while your income went up 16%, your savings only went up 5%. You thought you were building wealth. You were actually sliding backward. By 65, you've accumulated $412,000. Not terrible, but according to the 4% withdrawal rule recommended by financial planners, you can safely withdraw $16,480 per year. That's $1,373 per month. Try living on that when your rent is $2,200. Now here's the person who gets it right. Let's say you're 35, making $58,000. You're earning less than both the previous examples, but you save 18% of your income. That's $10,440 per year. You drive a 2015 Toyota Corolla you bought used for $11,000, paid off. Your rent is $1,100 because you chose location based on cost, not status. You meal prep on Sundays. You take vacations, but you book flights 4 months in advance and stay in Airbnbs, not hotels. Your friends think you're cheap. You're not cheap. You're intentional. Every dollar you don't waste on a car payment or overpriced apartment gets invested automatically. You don't even see it hit your checking account. By 65, at the same market returns as the others, you got $1,147,000 saved. Using the 4% rule, you can withdraw $45,880 per year. That's $3,000.23 per month. Combined with Social Security, you're living comfortably. You're traveling. You're not checking price tags at the grocery store. Sane years working. Lower income. Higher savings rate. Millionaire retirement. Here's one more example that'll make you angry. Let's say you're 50 years old making $105,000. You've saved 4% your whole career because you kept thinking you'd increase it later. Later never came. You've got $87,000 in your 401k. That's it. You've got 15 years until retirement. To catch up to a comfortable $800,000 by 65, you'd need to save 41% of your income starting today. That's $43,050 per year. After taxes, you're taking home maybe $75,000. Subtract $43,000 for retirement, you're living on $32,000 a year. It's mathematically brutal. This is what happens when you ignore savings rate in your 30s and 40s. By your 50s, the math stops being your friend. Let me show you the math of what a low savings rate actually costs you over a lifetime. If the average American earning $70,000 saves 6% per year, that's $4,200 annually. Let's say they do this for 35 years from age 30 to 65. With average market returns of 8% annually, they'll accumulate approximately $716,000. Sounds okay, right? Now let me show you what they gave up. If that same person saved 15% instead, that's $10,500 per year. Over the same 35 years at 8% returns, they'd accumulate $1,720,000. That's $4,000 more. But here's the painful part. That extra 9% they didn't save, that's $6,300 per year. Where did it go? Let's be conservative and say half of it went to necessary life improvements. The other half, lifestyle inflation, nicer cars, bigger apartments, more restaurants, subscriptions they forgot about. $3,150 per year on lifestyle inflation over 35 years is $110,250 in raw spending. But if they'd invested that $3,450 per year instead at 8% returns, it would have grown to approximately $502,000. $500,000 gone. Spent on car payments for vehicles they sold years ago, rent on apartments they don't even remember, meals they can't recall, clothes sitting in donation bins. Now let's run the truly devastating numbers. That gap between 6% and 15% savings, the full $1,000 to $34,000 difference, represents 11.6 years of financial freedom. Using the 4% withdrawal rule, $716,000 gives you $28,640 per year in retirement. You'll need Social Security to survive. You're worried about every expense. $1,720,000 gives you $68,800 per year. You're comfortable. You're secure. You're not choosing between medication and groceries. The person saving 6% works until 67 and stresses every day after. The person saving 15% could retire at 62 and sleep peacefully. That's what savings rate means. It's not about deprivation. It's about buying back years of your life. Here's how you fix this, starting today. My 5-step strategy to get your savings rate where it needs to be. Strategy 1. Calculate your actual savings rate right now. Pull up your last paycheck and your last investment account statement. Divide your annual retirement contributions by your gross income. Not your take-home, your gross. If you're saving $5,000 and earning $70,000, that's 7.1%. Write that number down. You can't fix what you don't measure. Most people guess they're saving 10% and discover they're saving 4%. This works because awareness creates urgency. Strategy 2. Set your target rate based on your age. If you're in your 30s, aim for 15% minimum. If you're in your 40s, aim for 20%. If you're in your 50s and behind, aim for 20% or higher. These aren't suggestions. According to research from Boston College's Center for Retirement Research, these are the minimum rates that give you an 80% probability of maintaining your lifestyle in retirement. Lower rates mean you're gambling with your future. Strategy 3. Automate the gap immediately. Don't try to jump from 5% to 15% overnight. Increase your 401k contribution by 2% today, right now. Pause this video and do it. You won't notice $100 less per paycheck. In 6 months, increase another 2%. Keep doing this every 6 months until you hit your target. Research from behavioral economists at UCLA found that gradual automatic increases have a 94% completion rate compared to 23% when people try to change all at once. Strategy 4. Kill your 3 biggest leaks. For 90% of people, it's their car payment, their housing cost, or their food spending. Track every expense for 1 month. Find where 15% of your income is currently disappearing into lifestyle choices. A $500 car payment you eliminate completely? That's 7% of a $70,000 salary. There's almost half your gap right there. This isn't about suffering. It's about consciousness. Buy a $15,000 reliable used car instead of leasing a $35,000 status symbol. That's 10 years of financial freedom you just purchased. Strategy 5. Make it invisible. Set up a separate high-yield savings account or investment account at a different bank than your checking account. Route your savings there automatically on payday before you see the money. What you don't see, you don't spend. According to research from Duke University, people who never see their savings hit their checking account save 6.7 times more than people who manually transfer money. Remove willpower from the equation. Make savings the default, spending the choice. If you're 35 and you implement these 5 strategies today, moving from 6% to 15% savings, you'll retire with an extra $1,000 and $4,000. That's not a typo. That's the power of starting now instead of waiting until your 50s when the math becomes impossible. Here's what nobody tells you about retirement. It's not actually about money. It's about time. And your savings rate is the only number that determines whether you buy back your time or sell it until you die. Remember that 42-year-old from the beginning, the one who got the promotion and upgraded everything? He didn't fail because he was stupid. He failed because he optimized for today instead of tomorrow. His coworker making less money, he optimized for freedom. Every percentage point you save is a year of your life you're purchasing from your future employer. Save 5%, work until 78. Save 15%, retire at 65. Save 25%, retire at 58. It's that simple. It's that brutal. The only difference between retiring broke and retiring rich is what you did in your 30s and 40s with that one number, not your salary, not your investment picks. Your savings rate, that's it. The choice is yours, and you're making it right now, whether you realize it or not. Every dollar you spend on lifestyle inflation is a day you're adding to your working life. Every dollar you save is a day you're buying back. If this video showed you the math you've been avoiding, smash that like button and subscribe for more uncomfortable financial truths that'll actually change your life. Next video, I'm breaking down the exact investment accounts you should be using at every age to maximize that savings rate. I'm James, and I'll see you in the next one. Your future self is watching what you do today. Don't let them down.